Hey Chris, let's say I need to buy an oscilloscope. Which one would I choose?
That's a great question. There's three things we want to consider. First one is look at the application that we're going to be using this instrument for. It could be a very basic bench scope that we're going to have several of these in the lab, or it could be a very expensive performance piece of equipment dedicated to a specific application like USB or DDR PCIe. Once we know the application, then we want to start looking at the bandwidth of the oscilloscope that we're going to need. Some of these standards call out bare minimums. Sometimes we have to dig in a little bit to our signals and figure out what we're going to need. But if it's a basic bench scope, it's probably pretty low bandwidth. 1 or 200 megahertz is generally fine. Last, we need to look at the price. Once we've identified what we want, can we actually afford that much oscilloscope, or are we going to have to pare back our expectations and look at what we can get for the most bang for our buck for the testing needs that we have?
Thanks, Chris. But let's say I'm new at this. Now that I know which oscilloscope to buy, what else do I have to worry about?
Once we pick the oscilloscope, then we need to start looking at probes and accessories so that we can make sure that we can measure all the types of signals that we need to see, such as current probes and differential probes. And we also need to look if there's any kind of test fixtures that we're going to need for the standards that we want to measure and test. Then we also need to look if there's any other equipment around that we need to exercise our device. That could be a power supply or a source measurement unit or a waveform generator. For more information, go to tektronix.com/oscilloscope.